Opening statement, sir.
Good morning, Madam Chair. The Department of Health is welcoming the oversight hearing of the Committee on Appropriations. I apologize for my absence during the last meeting. However, as you very well know, I was monitoring it virtually online, even in the wee hours of the morning in the U.S. We are here to answer all the questions of the honorable members of Congress. Thank you.
Salamat, Sected. And with indulgence of the members, before we begin with interpellation, I would like to ask a few questions which were left hanging in the last hearing, mostly because of the lack of information. So let's begin with the question on the list of items procured, and I am pertaining to the 47.6 billion fund transfer. Kung naalala nyo po, inisa-isa po natin, particularly itong COVID test kits. At napansin ko po, Secretary, na may mga pagkakataon na parehong-pareho po ang test type, parehong-pareho po ang brand, pero iba-iba po ang naging presyo. So, the price difference was as high as about 500 pesos. So for example, may price difference na 2,083 versus 1,562. So, yun ang unang tanong natin, at ang sinabi niyo po sa amin ay rerepasuhin po ninyo ang mga documents. So sana po ay nagkaroon tayo ng mahabang break, halos 2 linggo po. So ano po ang paliwanag kung bakit po nagkaroon ng ganitong mga pagkakataon?
Madam Chair, we submitted our breakdown of the 47.6 billion transferred to PSDBM for COVID-19 response. This was submitted by email, and today the physical documents are actually here. However, I can only surmise why the prices would be different, because I was special advisor of the task force then, and I knew that certain items changed their pricing over the time. So I guess we need to look at the date that some items are procured, because they were changing the cost as the pandemic was ongoing.
May we ask Secretary Duque?
I agree with the statement of Secretary Herbosa. It's very important to look at the timelines, Your Honor.
So can you give us the exact dates? So ang laki po, no? Halos 500 ang price difference kada test. And these are all within. Wala kasi dito sa sinabit niyo sa amin, wala yung specific date. Pero alam naman po natin na minadali natin. You keep repeating, Secretary Duque, that these were all done, all in the interest of time. You had to do this all expeditiously. Minamadali po natin, in other words, ang pagpro-procure. All of a sudden, now that we're asking you to please explain substantial price difference, you're now using as a defense the lapse of time. So, ano nga ba? So, is it expeditious or is it lapse of time? So, ano po ang...
It's expeditious.
Madam Chair, may I
Yes po.
just a point of clarification, and you have to pardon my ignorance. This is the first time I attended this meeting of oversight. I note that the major issues or concerns, which is number 1 in the list, Madam Chair, is the DOH transfer of funds to PSDBM. To my recollection, Madam Chair, the whole 18th Congress of the Philippines, particularly the Blue Ribbon Committee of the Philippine Senate, extensively dwell on this subject matter. And I would like to believe, Your Honor, just that because on the sheer number of hearings conducted by the Blue Ribbon Committee, then chaired by Senator Gordon. I believe these matters were extensively dealt with, and I would like to clarify, Madam Chair, or want to be clarified on which particular area or areas that were left uncovered by that Blue Ribbon Committee. I also recall that even the House of Representatives did a parallel inquiry on this main subject matter. And because of those two hearings, Madam Chair, I am also knowledgeable of the fact that there have been several cases filed against individuals in connection with this subject matter. So, what are the specific areas left uncovered by those committee hearings in the past, Madam Chair, that would require a repetition of such an inquiry?
So, Honorable Marcoleta, most of the discussion so far and the cases filed pertains particularly to the transfer of funds and the irregularities pertaining to the transfer. Ang tinatanong ko po sa ngayon ay yung pong posibleng overpricing. Yun po ay sa pagkakaalam ko po ay hindi pa po natatalakay. Ito naman po, I could be wrong, pero marami na po akong natignan ng mga dokumento, hindi pa po. So, in fact, if you look at the cases, it really pertains to really just the irregularities with respect to the fund transfer. So,
Madam Chair,
so ito po, ang pwedeng tignan ay ang November 16, 2023 fraud audit report, which was already transmitted to the DOH, PSDBM, Office of the Ombudsman, Congress, as well as the OP. So ito pong tanong ko, actually, sir, kung memorize na po natin, bakit hindi po masagot? Last hearing nga hindi po masagot. Kaya nga po, nag-spill over to today. Nagkaroon tayo ng another hearing. So, simple nga So, inisa-isa po natin yung items dito sa listahan ng mga pre-procure. Napansin po natin na merong iba-ibang cases. And this is the third case. The third case is a situation where parehong-pareho yung brand. Pero bakit ang laki po ng disparity in price? So, yun. It's a simple question.
Yeah, Madam Chair, that is probably correct, but I also remember it quite well during the parallel hearing held by the House of Representatives. I had the opportunity of interpellating personally the chair of the Commission on Audit, who was then Chair Michael Aguinaldo. And I repeatedly asked him whether or not there was overpricing of the materials procured by PSDBM. I am very sure of those questions, and he repeatedly answered that even before our meeting or hearing then, he appeared in the Philippine Senate and he also admitted that there was no overpricing. That is why, to my recollection, Your Honor, that was the testimony and admission made by no less than the chair of the COA at that time is the chair. So until and unless we can find other explanations that the statements made by COA chairman is incorrect, then we are supposed to inquire further on these issues.
So, can you please answer that? I mean, there's about a 500 peso price difference. It is what it is. It's a price difference. So, I'm asking for the details on the dates of the transaction.
Your Honor, the details, the documents pertaining to the timelines of the transaction is with the PSDBM because they were the ones who directly transacted with the suppliers.
Okay,
Now,
so
I would like to.
yes, and my
Madam-
understanding,
yes.
Sec, is that this is my layman understanding that instructions to bid would come from the DOH. So, meaning to say, sasabihin ninyo ang specification, i-bid nyo na to, kasi ang tanong kasi is bakit hindi nyo nalang pinagsama-sama lahat ng pangangailangan for, I understand, you explained in the last hearing the reason for why you needed different brands. That was my first question, di ba? Bakit iba-ibang brands ang binili ng DOH? And you sufficiently provided the explanation because tests are brand specific. So okay na po yun. Ang next question naman is, bakit iba-iba yung lots? Bakit hindi nalang pinagsama-sama yung ordering nung mga brands na yon para nakamura kayo? Kasi naging iba-iba tuloy ang presyo and there's a 500 peso disparity across certain lots. At malaki po yun, di ba? Especially kapag malaki po yung order. So, yun naman ang tinitignan natin, hindi po ba? And actually, sir, ang next question pa nga doon, how much was the price in the world market at the time of that purchase? That's the next question. Because it could be as low as $8. Yun ang next question, hindi po ba? So, if perhaps PSDBM can help the good secretary.
Madam Chair, as we also have explained in the past meeting, ang nangyari po dito is we procured as we receive the APR. So yun pong question on bakit po iba-iba. That's the reason why we were asked to submit the breakdown or the inclusions in each PO, ano po yung mga nakalista na dapat ipaprocure. Ang general observation po namin is, tama po si Congressman Garin last meeting that meron pong mga nakalist sa APRs na complete set. Although, Madam, we don't have the expertise to really identify kung ano po yung complete set dapat ng isang test kit, for example. Pero general observation po, meron pong isang set na meron pong mga consumables, meron din pong mga APRs na ang naka-itemize lang po na bilhin ay consumables or the components. And then we procure as we receive the APRs. Doon po sa mga APRs or the agency purchase request that we received from DOH, meron po doong unit price na nakalagay. So meron po doong unit price for each item. And then, of course, we receive that. Meron po silang suggested unit price. We subjected that to market scanning. Kaya po merong mga quotations na issue for the suppliers, and then doon po nag-based yung recommended ABC, Madam Chair.
So, okay, let's just be specific. Itong sinasabi ko nga na yung PCR kit sa Ensure Novel Coronavirus 2019 nCoV Nucleic Diagnostic Kit, 8,901 kits. So, ang lumalabas, 2,083 pesos per unit versus subsequently the very exact kit, but you purchased it in a different quantity, naging 30,000 kits. Ang naging unit price po was 1,562.50. So, ano yung exact circumstances kung bakit nga naiba ang so, ma'am, can you provide to us the well, number one, ano yung dates, di ba? Like, if you say that they came in different APRs, ano yung dates nung APRs na yon? Kung sinasabi nila na it's because of the lapse of time, maybe, maybe not. E paano kung ang difference in time is just 1 week? I mean, we need to make that determination, di ba? Kung talagang lapse of time is really the cause of that drop in price. And number two, ano po yung, as you said, you did market scoping. Kasi, based on our research nga, we could be wrong, but it could be as low as $8 at the time. So, ano yung naging resulta naman nung market scoping ninyo? So, can you provide to us the details? So maybe, anyway, mukhang mahaba naman yung hearing natin. Pwede niyo po bang ipahanap na lang muna sa staff ninyo? I'm sure meron naman pong file. So, I can provide, sana po may kopya kayo nitong listahan ng binigay sa amin ng DOH, which is the matrix of all the items procured under the 47.6 billion fund. Yun pong kailangan namin na detalye. Because nga, may ganong observation na bakit iba-iba po ang presyo for the same items.
Yes, Madam Chair, we will check po ngayon the dates. Thank you.
Not just the dates, ma'am, but the specific,
And the
but you
prices.
understand
Yes.
the issue,
Apo.
ma'am.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so, last.
Madam Chair, with your indulgence, it's related to your comments about the fund transfer issue. May I just
Please,
interject?
Honorable Daza.
Yeah, in the last hearing, I think it was, at that time, it was being presided by Congresswoman Garin. I'm not sure if you were here yet, but I wanted to inform you in the committee that I had asked the DBM at that hearing, I think it was last week, about the issue on the fund transfer. Apparently, from what I recall, and it should be in the minutes, that in most, if not all, of the procurement done by DBM, fund transfers were obviously done for their procurement, and in most cases, or all cases, there were no MOAs, because that was one of the, I think, issues why there wasn't a MOA when the funds were transferred to DBM. So I just wanted to put that on the record and inform you, and it should be in the minutes, the details of that discussion.
Noted, Honorable Daza. Okay. So, the only other question that I have is for the PSDBM. I asked you in the last hearing to give us an indication of the number of bidders for the 47.6 billion fund. So there were a total of 46 suppliers, but can you just like give us a general description of how the bidding proceeded? I understand that not all were bidded. Meron doon sole supplier. And looking at the documents that you submitted, can you also explain kung ano yung naging determination, like for a particular lot, paano kayo nag-decide na ito wag na natin ipabid, etc. So anyone from the PSDBM?
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, I will have to go back to my previous question. I think it is left unanswered in most aspect, because we are, based on the tenor of questioning, we're getting back into those areas already inquired into by the Blue Ribbon Committee of the Philippine Senate, and we are not emphasizing that at that time the major law that covered the inquiry is Republic Act 11469, Section 4 of that particular law, Madam Chair, particularly paragraph K, provided the President of the power to undertake the procurement of the following as need arises in the most expeditious manner as exemptions from the provisions of Republic Act 9184 or the Government Procurement Reform Act. Meaning to say, Madam Chair, considering the nature of the procurement made, and because we were then under COVID-19, the very urgent nature of the measures taken by the Executive Department, particularly the DOH, would justify the things that they did, even probably considering the prices, because whatever available materials are there, Madam Chair, for example, under the Procurement Act, goods which may include personal protective equipment such as gloves, gowns, masks, goggles, face shields, surgical equipment, and supplies are exempted from the provisions of Republic Act 9184. And so these were the background when the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee conducted the inquiry, Madam Chair. So are we getting back into those areas? Can we improve the manner by which the Blue Ribbon Committee conducted its committee hearings? So many of them were conducted, Madam Chair. So I'm a little bit in doubt as to what the objectives of this committee is, Madam Chair. Are we opening those areas again, Madam Chair?
Honorable Marcoleta, the 47.6 billion comes from various funding sources, including the GAA. So that's
I know that,
part
Madam
of the
Chair,
reason
but
for why-
I recall that the only reason why the DOH was flagged down at that time, I have my notes when we conducted that
Yeah,
hearing.
so-
There was a particular circular, number 94-013, requiring a memorandum of agreement on the part of the COA, on the part of the PSDBM and I think the DOH at that time. But we were arguing at that time, Madam Chair, that this particular memorandum agreement will not prevail against the law, 11469. 11469 is the operating law at that time. We were under an urgent and emergency situation, and we cannot allow ourselves to be subjected to a lot of rules and regulations because of the urgency of the situation. That was the very intent of the law.
yes, sir. So,
And so
all,
if we are
all-
examining again by way of questioning what did happen on those
Yeah.
times, then we are duplicating what happened
no,
in the
sir.
Senate Blue Ribbon
All
Committee.
I am asking is what principles were applied for the choice in a particular procurement modality, considering na iba-iba po ang ating funding source, including GAA. So, hindi natin alam. Baka naman kung GAA, iba ang particular modality. Yun lang. General principle lang po. Hindi tayo magtatanong ng very specific. That's why I said in general, pwede niyo po bang ipaliwanag lamang? General lang po. Sir, PSDBM, it's a general question. We thank you for the submission that you made, sir. Or ma'am.
Yes, Madam Chair. Yung general process, ma'am, how the procurement went during the COVID-19 pandemic, ito po yung kung paano po na-i-explain sa akin.
Para dun sa 47.6,
Yes, ma'am.
Kasi iba-iba yung
Opo.
naging modality,
Yes, ma'am.
hindi po ba?
Yung 47, ma'am, 47 billion, meron po kaming 46 suppliers but around 150 contracts. So, ang general observation po namin ay yun pong mga nauna, yun pong na-cover ng Bayanihan 1 was undertaken through emergency under Bayanihan 1. And this might be because we followed yung pong GPPB Circular 01-2020 na sinasabi po doon at saka po yung GPPB Resolution 03-2020 na ang magiging mode po ay emergency procurement. So, doon po sa GPPB Circular 01-2020 ay kokonti lang po talaga yung documents na ni-require during the procurement. In fact, ang required lamang po doon based on the circular is the submission of the PhilJobs registration or if not, the submission of the income tax returns and the omnibus warrant statement. Yun pong submission ng income tax returns is even allowed to be submitted before award or after award or before payment. The only thing that they require to be submitted under the circular is the OSS po. But as I was told, hindi naman po ganoon naging kalimited lang yung documents na hiningi during the procurement under the emergency for Bayanihan 1. So nahingan din po ng mga basic documents like aside from the PhilJobs registration is the SEC registration, nahingi rin po yung income tax return. So yung mga emergency, ma'am, mostly for the Bayanihan 1, ganoon po, yung sinabi ko po kanina, kapag naka-receive po kami ng APR, meron pong unit price doon, then we subjected that to market research. Ang basis po ng market research namin ay yun pong mga suppliers na nakalista sa PhilJobs po. So we asked Canvas from the suppliers listed in the PhilJobs and then based po doon sa Canvas na nakuha, nagkaroon ng suggested ABC. I was told that the ABC recommended naman po ay hindi naman ay normally mas mababa doon po sa unit price na lumabas po na sinabi po ng DOH sa kanilang APR. And then, based po doon sa mga canvas na nakuha, doon po nag-directly negotiate ang back ng PSDBM. Because under the GPPB Circular 01-2020, allowed po yung direct negotiation with a supplier that is legally, technically, and financially capable. In-explain po kung paano i-determine yung legally, technically, and financially capable. Yun nga po yung sinabi ko na ito lang po yung documents na hinihingi. So that is for the emergency procurement, ma'am. And then we observed that, ito po meron kami palang how many yung mga public bidding. So for 2020 procurement po, we have 7 emergency under RA 9184, 39 emergency under Bayanihan 1, 3 under Bayanihan 2, 7 public bidding under Bayanihan 2. For 2021, we have direct contracting na 8. We have 12 emergency under Bayanihan 2 and 11 public bidding under Bayanihan 2. So yun pong mostly yun pong mga Bayanihan 2 ay public bidding po. I asked why public bidding na yon. I was told po na yung pong mga contracts for this na public bid ay malalaki po yung mga amounts. Mas malalaki po doon po sa mga naunang emergency under Bayanihan 1, ma'am.
Kailangan ipaliwanag
Okay,
mo
so-
rin, Madam Chair, kailangan ipaliwanag niya rin na under PSDBM, batay sa GPPB Resolution Number 03-2020, meron kayong tinatawag na common use supplies, di ba? At iugnay mo dapat yon sa Executive Order Number 17, yung Section 4 nun. Dapat ipaliwanag mo that this is an executive order of former President Pinoy dated July 28, 2011. Alam mo ba ito? Kasi ito yung pinaliwanag nyo noon eh. Nang sinasabi dito, common use supplies katulad ng ginawang pag-angkat na direkta ng PSDBM ay wala ng public bidding nakalagay doon eh. Madam Chair, yun siguro yung dahilan kung bakit nagkaroon ng variance sa maraming pagkakataon sa mga presyo. Exempted kasi sa public bidding, emergency ang situation. At they are armed by Executive Order number 17 under Section 4. Under Section 4, Paragraph K din ng Bayanihan Act number 1, in-exempt naman lahat yung provided that kailangan madalian at ibigay na kapangyarihan sa Executive Department in order to save our people against a pending calamity. Yan po yung
okay.
dapat ipaliwanag ng PSDB.
Yes, and Honorable Marcoleta, I hope you don't mind. Kindly please wait to be acknowledged by the chair.
Pasensya na po kayo, ma'am, kasi
Para lang,
hindi niya pinapaliwanag mabuti.
Pwede namin po kayo ilista, sir. So, ang maliwanag, ma'am, is unit price comes from the DOH. Tama po?
Meron pong unit price yung kanilang
Pag
APR,
doon sa
ma'am.
APR,
Yes
and then
po,
you validate it,
Yes,
subject to market scoping.
Opo, yes,
And then
ma'am.
yung market scoping nyo po, ma'am, you also look at international prices, tama po? Or only local?
Yung nakalista lang po sa PhilJeps, ma'am. But
So-
the PhilJeps registry has foreign suppliers.
So hindi nyo tinitignan, correct me if I'm wrong, kasi at that point in time, pwede nating i-import di ba, abroad? Halimbawa, in the case of testing kits, those could have been imported, right? So, hindi natin tinignan. Kasi as you said, you can directly negotiate, right? So in the same breath, ang mga suppliers natin ay maaari din naman umangkat, hindi po ba? So bakit hindi natin sinasama sa market scoping ang presyo sa international markets?
Ma'am, meron po doon sa list namin na mga naging direct contracting. And I was also told na meron pong mga some contracts na may exclusive distributors po sa Pilipinas. So yun po, diretso po natin ni-negotiate with them.
Yes, but I'm just saying, dapat kasama ang prevailing market abroad, ang prevailing international price at that point in time, hindi po ba?